Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Fairmount Park here on Saturday evening. It is the 26th of August, 2023. Gonna look at the featured sixth race from Fairmount, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. Let's look at the featured sixth race, which is the St. Louis Derby, presented by FanDuel. It's going for a purse of $250,000, race for 3-year-olds here. 7 of them are going to the starting gate. The distance of ground of 1,700 meters or a mile and 1/16th on the Fairmount FanDuel main track. My top selection here, I'm going to go with the 4-horse Dennington. Let's go 4-2-6-5 in the superfecta. 4-2-6-5 super. Top selection of 4-horse Dennington. This 3-year-old colt by Gunrunner here. Kenneth McPeak trains this one. Corey Lannery gets the mounts. The horse's most recent outing came 13th of August, which was just under a week and a half ago. Just quickly, almost 2 weeks ago, 13 days ago, at Ellis. 1 mile in the Ellis Park Derby. He finished 4th by 1 3/4 lengths that day, and he sat back early. He was a little bit wide. He closed up well late on a racetrack that's not so kind to closers, but I thought it was an okay effort. Refreshing here, off the quick turnaround, getting a mile and 8, which I think he should really like. He could grind it out. His run race is fast enough to win here. I'm going to give him another shot here. 2 back in the Iowa Derby at Prairie, mile 16th, 8th of July. He finished 4th by 2 3/4 lengths that day, and he just kind of stalked, was a little bit wide, and he just never really got going. It wasn't his day to win. And then the Matt win at Ellis on a mile and 8th on the slop, 11th of June. He finished 5th by 12 1/4 lengths that day. Again, he just never really got going. Disarm, who's running today in the Travers, really ran terrifically that day. Verifying was the next star winner, who was a decent horse, who I believe is also running in the today at Saratoga. He just got beat by slightly classier horses on the day, and then he lost behind Arabian Lion, who's running in the Travers later today, or not the Travers, the Allen Jerkins later today in the Sir Barton, where he finished 3rd by 10 1/4 lengths that day. It was a little bit wide, and he just got beat by flashier horses. He's won once as a 2-year-old and once as a 3-year-old at the Fairgrounds in Optional 80, winning by a neck, closing up from nowhere. A very good race. And then they ran him in the Louisiana Derby, where he had a wide post draw, and then had a disappointing race in the Lexington. But his form numbers have been getting better. With the Buyers going up with every single race, he's training well. He could definitely win here. The 2-horse Billy Jack for Steve Asmussen, it wouldn't surprise me if he wins. Most recently, an allowance race at Ellis, going a mile on the 4th of August off the turf. He finished 2nd by 6 3/4 lengths that day. He was on the pace early on that day. He got beat by a horse who just had the jump on him late, but he ran his heart out first time routing trip. Prior to the main special at Ellis over the 7-8, he won by 2. On the front and all throughout, flying, came home with an 81 buyer. That was a very good race. And then main special weight at Churchill, going 7 in June. He finished 6th by 6 1/4 lengths that day, and he just never really got going that day. But I think he goes up a lot with a 2-turn race. Could be forwardly paced, training well at Ellis. It wouldn't surprise me. It also wouldn't surprise me if the 6-horse Hayes Strikes win for Brian Hernandez and Kenneth McPeak. Was most recently in the Indiana Derby, he just never really ran. He finished 7th by 19 1/4 lengths, never getting into it. A disappointing 3rd in the Ohio Derby, but he won the Texas Derby quite nicely in late May at Lone Star going away. Kenneth McPeak won this race, I believe, last year with the Rattle Roll. It wouldn't surprise me if he wins it with this one or my top pick, Dennington. Let's use all 3 of them in the multi-race wager. But to recount my selection for the 6 from Fairmount, it's the St. Louis Derby. Going to take the 4-horse Dennington. Give kudos to the 2-horse Billy Jack and the 6-horse, who is Hayes Strike. 4-2-6-5 super. 4-2-6-5 super, 4-2-6 in your multi-race. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck, everybody.